The cast of Heartstopper has become widely popular since the show's debut, but many fans might not realize that these talented actors have been in other exciting projects before. Let's take a closer look at where you might have seen some of the Heartstopper stars in their previous roles. Joe Locke, who plays Charlie Spring in Heartstopper, has a really interesting role in a show called Agatha All Along, which released recently. This series is about Agatha Harkness, a powerful witch who first showed up in another show called WandaVision. The story starts with Agatha stuck in a town called Westview because of a spell cast by Wanda Maximoff. After Agatha breaks free, she has to get her magic powers back while fighting off other witches who are after her, including someone she used to love named Rio Vidal. Agatha also has to deal with a group of witches called the Salem Seven who want to bring her down. In this show, Joe plays a character that everyone just calls Teen. Teen is a magical helper with a dark sense of humor who starts working for Agatha. There's a magic spell on him that stops anyone from finding out his real name or who he really is, which becomes a funny joke throughout the show. Even though we don't know much about him, Teeny is shown to be eager, kind, and really interested in witchcraft. He says it's his dream to join Agatha's group of witches and explore something called the Witch's Road. Teeny can be impulsive, but he's also thoughtful. The show also gives him a love story with his boyfriend Eddie, which makes his character even more interesting. Moving on to Kit Connor, who plays Nick Nelson in Heartstopper, we can find him in some interesting roles before he became everyone's favorite rugby player. In the movie Rocketman, which tells the story of famous musician Elton John, Kit plays a young Reginald Dwight. That's Elton John's real name. Kit's scenes focus on Elton's childhood, showing us how he first fell in love with music and the tough times he had growing up. Kit portrays Reginald as a shy kid who's amazing at playing the piano. He lives in a working-class family with a dad who doesn't really care about his music skills, and a mom who's kind of supportive, but also has her own emotional stuff going on. One of the most important scenes Kit acts in is when young Reginald discovers rock and roll music, which makes him want to become a performer. Kit does a great job showing how lonely Elton felt as a kid, and how his parents didn't give him the love he needed. The movie also shows young Elton's close relationship with his grandma, who's the first person to really support his music and encourage him to follow his dreams. Kit's acting in these early scenes helps us understand why Elton John later struggled with being famous, figuring out who he was, and wanting people to love and accept him. Kit Connor also appeared in a pretty different kind of movie called Little Joe. This science fiction drama is about a plant breeder named Alice who creates a special flower that's supposed to make people happy. The flower, called Little Joe, gives off a scent that should make people feel good. But as the story goes on, we find out that this scent might actually be doing something bad. People who smell the flower start acting weird, and it looks like Little Joe might be controlling their minds and changing who they are so it can survive. In Little Joe, Kit plays Joe, who is Alice's teenage son. Joe is one of the main people affected by the plant's strange power. Kit does a great job showing how Joe slowly changes, becoming more distant and less emotional. This makes the movie feel creepy and tense. Joe's character is important because he makes Alice wonder if her creation might be dangerous. She's not sure if Joe is just being a normal moody teenager or if the plant is changing him. Next up, Yasmine Finney, who plays Elle Argent in Heartstopper, recently made a big splash in the world of Doctor Who. In the 60th anniversary special called The Star Beast, Yasmine took on the role of Rose Noble, a character with a deep connection to the show's history. Rose is the daughter of Donna Noble, a beloved companion from earlier seasons, and is named after Rose Tyler, another important character in the Doctor Who universe. In the special, Yasmine's character, Rose, faces bullying because she's transgender, which reflects some of Yasmine's own real-life experiences. This makes Rose's story very emotional and meaningful. During the episode, Rose gets a brief boost of super smart, Time Lord thinking, which she inherits from her mom's past adventure with the Doctor. This helps her solve important parts of the story. Rose plays a big part in saving London from an alien called Beep the Meep. Yasmine Finney's role in Doctor Who is really important because she's the first transgender actor to have a main role in the show. Fans will be happy to know that Rose is set to come back in future episodes, so we'll get to see more of Yasmine's acting in this exciting sci-fi world. Sebastian Croft, who played Ben Hope in Heartstopper, took on a very different role in a movie called How to Date Billy Walsh. This British romantic comedy is all about teenage friendship and what happens when people start falling in love. Sebastian plays Archie, who has been best friends with a girl named Amelia since they were little kids. Archie realizes he's in love with Amelia and wants to tell her, but then a charming American exchange student named Billy Walsh shows up, and Amelia starts liking him instead. Archie gets really upset and jealous, so he tries all sorts of crazy things to keep Amelia and Billy apart. But this only makes Amelia and Billy like each other more, and it might ruin Archie's long friendship with Amelia. Sebastian Croft does a great job showing all the different emotions Archie goes through. He's vulnerable, funny, and really struggles with his feelings. He keeps trying to get Amelia to like him, but ends up pushing her away instead. This role is really different from Sebastian's part as Ben in Heartstopper, where he plays more of a mean character. In How to Date Billy Walsh, we get to see Sebastian as the main character in a fun, light-hearted love story that still has a lot of emotional depth. Rhea Norwood, who plays Imogen in Heartstopper, appears in a fun holiday movie called Your Christmas or Mine Too. This British comedy is about the continuing love story of James and Hayley. After some mix-ups in the first movie, this sequel takes James and Hayley's families to the Austrian Alps for Christmas, but things get crazy when Hayley's working-class family, the Taylors, accidentally end up in the fancy ski resort that was booked for James's rich family, the Hughes. Meanwhile, the Hughes find themselves in the simple place that was meant for the Taylors. Things get even more complicated when Hayley thinks James is going to ask her to marry him after she finds an engagement ring. This leads to a lot of misunderstandings and funny situations that almost end their relationship. The movie looks at how families are different, the gaps between social classes, and love, all leading up to a sweet Christmas makeup scene. In this movie, Rhea plays Bea, who's been James's friend since they were kids. Bea causes some tension between James and Hayley. Hayley tries really hard to impress Bea and ends up getting into trouble while skiing, which leads to more misunderstandings. Rhea's character is important because Hayley gets jealous of her, which causes a lot of the problems between James and Hayley. Rhea does a great job showing the tricky situation that can happen when you have close friendships and romantic relationships at the same time. It's really cool to see how the Heartstopper cast has been in such different kinds of shows and movies. From science fiction to historical biopics, from holiday comedies to intense dramas, these actors have shown they can do all sorts of roles. Yasmin Finney made history in Doctor Who. Kit Connor helped us understand a music legend in Rocketman. Sebastian Croft made us laugh and feel for him in a rom-com. Joe Locke got to play with magic in A Witch Story. And Rhea Norwood added some spice to A Christmas Tale. And that's the end of this long video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos on Heartstopper and beyond. Thanks for watching.